Wolf gang, where you at, man? Shit.
The network effect, media misquotes, and manufactured credibility. Once a story hits social media, it mutates. One sentence turns into a headline. One headline becomes a narrative. And soon, nobody remembers where it started. In Jaguar Wright's case, a single lawsuit and a few chopped up clips became a full-blown campaign questioning her credibility. In the last 2 episodes, we established how Jaguar Wright's name became attached to a lawsuit she never a party to, never served in, and never testified in. Now, we need to talk about what actually happened in court, because the internet told a different story. The civil case, known publicly as Ashley Parham versus Sean Combs, was dismissed. Not after testimony, not after evidence, not after discovery. The case was dismissed for procedural failure, specifically failure to prosecute. A federal judge in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California has dismissed the civil lawsuit filed by Ashley Parham against Sean Diddy Combs and associated defendants, including Drewski, NFL player Odell Beckham Jr., and Jaguar Wright. And this happened because Parham failed to prosecute the case. Plaintiffs were never served any of the defendants within the required time frame, even after multiple extensions. Lawyers withdrew and no new counsel. Parham's attorneys withdrew a while back, and the plaintiff didn't secure new counsel or indicate intent to proceed without one by the court's deadline. Despite the warnings from the judge under the federal rules, the plaintiff did not file timely proof of service or explain the delays. The judge consequently dismissed the case for failure to prosecute, meaning the lawsuit was shut down due to procedural default rather than a ruling on the underlying allegations. The dismissal was procedurally and did not adjudicate the merits of underlying allegations, but the practical effect is that the lawsuit cannot proceed unless refiled. So before the dismissal, Ashley Parham alleged that Sean Combs and others actually assaulted her in 2018 in Orinda, California, in a lawsuit she filed in October of 2024. The complaint was amended March of 2025 to add additional defendants. That's where she added Odell Beckham Jr., Drewski, and Jaguar Wright. And they all denied involvement. The judge at one point denied motions for sanctions against Parham's counsel, even though evidence supported some defamation claims against certain parties, indicating the case had been at least moving towards procedural steps earlier in the year. Ashley Parham's suit against Sean Combs and other defendants was dismissed for procedural failure. Dismissal, not a verdict. That matters. A procedural dismissal means the court never weighed credibility. It never evaluated allegations. It never ruled on truth or falsity. And importantly, no defendant was adjudicated responsible for anything. But online, the dismissal was treated like a confirmation, as if silence from the court meant validation. That's not how the legal system works. No service of defendants, no sworn testimony, no findings of fact, no ruling on credibility. So when Jaguar's names continue to circulate after the dismissal, the question becomes obvious. If the court didn't make the claim, who did? To answer that, We have to talk about the source.
Who am I to tell anybody or to scrutinize, how they acquired information?
I'm not saying scrutinize.
Well, no. I'm just saying a lot of times we have situations where sometimes you can't always trace back a chain of command. We have law enforcement agency who always can't trace back a chain of command. Sometimes
I would have to disagree with that because
I've seen cases where that has happened.
Well, and usually in most of the cases where that happens, someone dropped the ball, someone got paid, something got lost.
I'm not saying that, but we're talking about. We're not even talking about an illegal space now. We're just strictly talking about regular people, how information can exchange hands. Yeah. And all I'm at with it is when somebody comes to me, because again, Courtney came to me as somebody who needed legal representation for an ongoing matter. He didn't need me to sue someone. So I think people kind of have to misunderstand. I think there's a misunderstanding of the approach of a lawyer in certain situations.
What role you were.
Right. So what role, if somebody like you, Jaguar, if you come to me.
No, but I mean, Chris.
No, but you got to listen to me like I listen to you. Jaguar, if you come to me
I'm
for
talking about Chris
representation.
Todd, though.
Wait, okay. So if you come to me for representation, you're a plaintiff. I have to file your case. There's one set of investigation I have to do, set of questions I have to ask, a set of circumstances I have to meet before I can say, yes, I can take your case and then go and file it. Now, there's a different situation where you come to me, Jaguar, and say, hey, I got this subpoena. Hey, I have this warrant. I need you to help me clear it up. That's an ongoing matter. Then my investigation is less about what you're telling me, and it's how to resolve this matter in front of me.
And so understood. All of that is understood. That's not the question that I'm asking. The question that I'm asking is that in everything that I've researched and all of the things that I look at, anytime you find an orgy of evidence, it is contrived.
In the next episode, who is the Jane and John Doe? The Jane and John Doe problem. The individuals alleging Jaguar Wright's involvement were listed as Jane and John Doe. At the time, their identities were unknown to the public, but their claims were repeated as fact. We may know who this Jane and John Doe is. Could Ashley Parham refile her case with the help of Jaguar Wright, setting the record straight and exposing the Jane and John Doe? That's something to think about. We'll see on the next episode of Receipts and Narratives.